Okay, are you ready for number sense? Today I'm going to be going over TMSCA Middle School Number Sense, and this was a test that was a regional test given March 5th, 2022. And I want to go over this test for one of our viewers who sent me this and said, can you work out the first column and second column? And thank you for sending me this. If you have a number sense test, an old test that you want me to go over, just shoot me an email and send me that test. And I'll give you more details towards the end of the video. And in this video, I'm going to do part 1, which would be 1 through 21. And then in the next video, I'll do from 22 to 42. So this will be part 1. And I'm going to be going over the problems the way I would probably work these out. And there's many ways to work these out. You don't have to do it my way, but this is just one way. All the problems are to be done mentally, no scratch work. And so start problems or approximate answers. So I will be following all the rules for number sense, and you'll see the steps. When I write on the margins, that's only for explanation. That doesn't mean that you can write on the margin. You can only write the answers on the answer blank if you're competing in this contest. So let's get started. Number 1. Okay, number 1 says 2021 plus 2022. So I would add 21 plus 22, that would be 43. And then I would add 20 plus 20, that's 40. So the answer there is 4,043. Number 2 is 2021 minus 2022. It looks like you're off by 1, so it'd be a negative 1. 18% is what as a fraction? 18% is 18 over 100. Reduce that by 2. 18 over 100 becomes 9 over 50. Number 4, 120,906 divided by 3. I would take 3 into 12, that's 4. And then 3 into 0, that's 0. 3 into 9 is 3. 3 into 0, 0. 3 into 6 is 2. So 40,302 is the answer. Number 5, 64 times 15. So I'm going to write the shortcut here on the side. What you can do is double the 15, make that a 30, and then you would take half of 64. So mentally I'm thinking 32 times 30, I would write a 0, and then 3 times 32 is 96. For number 6, 44 times 75, think of 75 as 3/4 of 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3/4 of 44, which is 33, times 100. So it'd be 3,300. 4 3/4 as a decimal, 3/4, you should know that's 0.75, 4.75. Number 8, 14 times 6 plus 8 times 14. If you factor out a 14, it's going to leave you 6 plus 8 times 14. So that's 14 times 14, and 14 squared. You should memorize that. That's 196. For number 9, 4.5 plus 12.55. I would think of 4.5 as 4.50. 50 plus 55 is 105, so I carry a 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 12 is 17. So for number 10 is the start problem, which means it's an approximation. And so you can do 620 plus 440 plus 510. I could do 20 plus 40 is 60, plus 10 is 70. And then I would add 6 plus 4, add your 100, 600 plus 400, that's 10. Hundreds plus 5, that's 15. And that's pretty good for an approximation. Number 11 has a special shortcut. When you have your ones add up to 10, 3 times 7 is 21, so you can write the 21. And you bump this one up by 1. 6 times 7 is 42. So this is a shortcut anytime that you have the ones add up to 10 and your tens are the same digit. Number 12, 79 times 81. For this one, I would think of 80 minus 1 times 80 plus 1. Okay, so if I do that, I'm going to have 6,400 minus 1, which is 6,399. Number 13, multiplying by 13. 13 times 3 is 39. carry a 3. 13 times 9 is 117, plus the 3 is 120. So that becomes 1209. Number 14 is two numbers over 100. 109 times 109, I would do 9 squared is 81. And then I would add 9 plus 9 is 18 and add it to 100. So anytime you have two numbers over 100, you can use that shortcut where you multiply 9 times 9, 81, and then you add 9 plus 9 and add it to 100. Okay, moving right along to number 15. 92 times 97, two numbers under 100. I'm going to write here just to show you that this is 8 from 100 and this is 3 from 100. So 97 minus 100 and 92 minus 100. So I have two negative numbers. And what happens when you multiply two negative numbers, you get a positive number. Negative 8 times negative 3, so that's 24. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 92 minus 3. That would be 89. Or I could have done 97 minus 8. Either way, that gives you the 89. So the answer is 8,924. And that's a special shortcut for two numbers under 100. Number 16, which is larger, 7/8 or 0.88? Remember that 7/8 is 0.875. So you should memorize that. And this is 880. So if you're comparing those two, 880 is larger. So the answer is 0.88. Okay. Now, if you were to write 0.88, that would be incorrect, even though 0.88 is one of the answer choices. You cannot have an extra 0. If you did that, then this problem would have been marked incorrect for the extraneous 0. 0.88 is correct, but the correct answer of writing it is 0.88. So be careful with that one. So on this one, I'm going to put a little star, and a lot of students will be writing 0.88, and it is wrong. If it's graded correctly, according to number sense rules, it should be only 0.88. Could it be written as a fraction? Yes, it could be. 88 over 100 is 22 over 25. So if somebody was to write 22 over 25, that would be counted correct. But why would you want to convert this to a fraction? Only if the answer blank said fraction. It doesn't say that. So 0.88 is what I would go with on this problem. Okay, problem number 17. 80% of 90 less 12 means you're going to subtract 12. And the percent cancels out the two zeros. Percent is per 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking 80 times 90, and then percent means per 100. So when you divide by 100, you cancel that 0 and that 0. So what you really have is 8 times 9, 72. 72 minus 12 is 60. Now, if you like number sense, if you like these shortcuts, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. By the way, do you have notifications turned on? If not, click that bell by the subscribe button, and you'll be getting all the notifications every time I upload a new video for you. Okay, number 18. 6 2/9 minus 2 2/3. When you subtract 2/9 minus 2/3, you're going to have to borrow. So that 6, I'm going to make it a 5. 5 minus 2, I know I have an answer of 3. And then I borrow 1, which is 9/9. So I'm going to add 9/9 here to this 2/9. So that's 11/9. 11/9 minus 2/3. 2/3 is 6/9. So I have 11/9 minus 6/9. That would be 5/9. They want the answer as a mixed number. 3 5/9 is the correct answer. Okay, so for number 19, we're looking for the median. That's the number in the middle. You have an even number of terms, 48, 36, 42, and 38. So if you put these in order, you're going to have a 36, and then a 38, and then a 42, and then a 48. So your median is going to fall between these two, and it will be the average of those two. And right down the middle of 38 and 42 is what? 40. So the answer for number 19 is 40. Okay, number 20 is an approximation, a starred problem. You're given plus plus or minus 5% on the range. So I think a lot of students here would do 670 times 44. So then you have to multiply 67 times 44. And you could add a little bit to the 67 and subtract a little bit to the 44. I see 673 as something pretty close to 675. And I like the 75 since we just saw a shortcut with 75. And 44 is divisible by 4. So think of 6 3/4, 675, 6 3/4 times 100. That's 675 times 44. So what I would do is I would take 24 plus 3 is 27. So this is actually 27 over 4 times 44, and then times 100. So 4 goes into 44 11 times. 11 times 27 is 297. And then multiply that by 100. That's a cool shortcut. Now, if you want to multiply 67 times 44, you can. But 29,700 is right down the middle for this problem. It's an approximation. Okay, number 21 is the last one in this column. And this will conclude the video for part 1. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2 video coming up later after this one. And I'll try to put a link on this one at the bottom so you can link part 1 and part 2. 7 1/4 times 8 5/7 equals what is a mixed number? So I noticed that this 1/4 can go into 8 and 5/7 can go into that. So I'm going to do FOIL. So I'm going to do last with the last. I'm going to multiply 1/4 times 5/7. That's going to be 5 over 28. That's the fraction part. And then when I do 1/4 of 8, I've got a 2. That's for the inner. The outer would be plus 5/7 of 7. 7s cancel out and I get 5. So when I add those two together, I have 7. That's my carry. So I carry a 7. So then I do 7 times 8. First with first, that's 56. 56 plus 7 is going to give you 63. So the answer there is 63 and 5 over 28. So really what we're doing is we're just multiplying by FOIL. And this would be no different than if the problem was something like, let's say, 73 times maybe 85. Then you would do FOIL here. You could multiply 3 times 5 is 15. Carry a 1. Then you do 24 plus the 35 plus your 1. So 24 plus 1 is 25. 25 plus 35 is 60. Write a 0. Carry a 6. And then you do your first with the first. 56 plus 6 would be 62. So this is the same thing as this problem, except you now have mixed numbers. But it works the same way. I hope you've learned something today. Remember to hit the like button. Leave any comments. Let me know what schools you're from or what town you're from. Leave in the comments. We'll have a shout out for you. And again, stay tuned for this one. Oh yeah, one more thing I was going to say. If you decide that you have a question on some tests and you want me to help you with that, I'm going to put my email right here. This is for those who've stayed to the end of the video. And at Gmail, those where my students will recognize the name. I've coached many state champions in UL number sense, and we've had many teams go to state. And right now I'm a retired teacher. I'm National Board Certified Math Teacher nationwide and a math consultant. I'm happy to help anybody that's doing number sense, learning the ropes, and shoot me an email. Thank you. Oh yeah, one more thing. For the subject on the email, just write number sense, so I'll make sure I get your email. Thank you.